YouTube started, and then we'll just begin. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are talking about something dark that has happened in the United Kingdom. I don't know any other way to put this, but biblical prophecy being played out right in front of our eyes. And people have been warning about this for such a long time. What I'm talking about is the implementation of this digital ID and the digitalization of the United Kingdom. It does seem like there's not just me, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of people have been talking about this. They're going to cause the carnage. They're going to cause the chaos. And then they're going to bring in the digital ID. We are literally enslaving ourselves, guys. We are enslaving ourselves because digital ID will lead to universal basic income. Universal basic income will lead to absolute slavery. Now, look, guys, regardless what you are thinking right now, this will happen. I don't see a way out of this, guys. Right now, as I'm sat here although I will, right now, as I'm sat here doing this live stream, I see no way to stop this. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it will turn out to be a good thing. I don't know. I don't think it's going to turn out to be a good thing. But right now, as I'm sitting here, guys, I don't see the path. The path is not clear to me, and it usually is. So what I want to talk about on this live stream is the rollout of digital ID and how that perfectly marries up with the mark of the beast from Revelation 13, I believe it is. That's what's happening in the United Kingdom. Now, if we look at all this crazy stuff that's been happening, all this carnage that's been happening in the United Kingdom, the masses of migration, the masses of chaos, the masses of absolute pain and pity, it all seems to be look, guys, that was phase one. Phase two, it's been identified. Phase two is clear now. Phase two is the implementation of digital ID, where they're going to say, right, what we're going to do is we are going to give you guys this digital ID, and this is going to stop this is going to stop the boats because nobody can buy or sell without a digital ID. And that is literally what it says in the Bible, guys. And look, I don't want to be biblical raven, but you can't deny what's been, you can't deny what's been written in the Bible. Now, I don't know whether this is people behind the scenes following this as like a blueprint so more people will go on with it. I genuinely don't know what that is, guys. But look, right now, I don't see the way out of this. And there's a lot of people right now will be saying, oh, I'm not going to have that. No, I'd rather suffer. I'd rather have no money. Really? Do you think? Slowly, this is going to be forced in, guys. Slowly, it's going to be forced upon us. Then, the government have phase one, ladies and gentlemen. Phase one was the destruction of industry. Phase one was get as many companies, small companies. It's all clear now, isn't it, guys? It's all clear. It's all there. You can see it now. Look back. All right, I understand what phase one was. Phase one was total destruction of the economy, total destruction of any non-compliant companies. So if you was a small business and you was making money and you was doing that independently, they've made it almost impossible now for you to operate. That's forcing people unemployed. That's forcing people onto the welfare system. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think the welfare system will be linked to a digital ID? I would say will be 100%. So they have now a choice between, like, if you're a single mum and, like, for whatever reasons, you're not working, and you're raising 2-3 kids, they will say, right, I don't know, whatever your name is, or a single dad, they will say, right, you need to have this digital ID. And then when you're looking at your kids and your kids are hungry and you think, right, all I need to do is put my passport number in this app and I'll get some money. Of course you're going to do it, guys. They've broken the system to make that possible. And that's what's coming, guys. There's no way out of it now. I don't see the way out of this right now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be honest with you. Normally, I see the way out of this, but it's been done. It's been orchestrated so well. It's been orchestrated fantastically, guys. They've checked every box, crossed every T, and dotted every I. So I don't see a way out of this right now, guys, because ultimately people will succumb to this. And it reminds me of the beginning to, the beginning to Lord of the Rings, where the free lands of Middle Earth are falling one by one. But it does look like the United Kingdom is ground zero for this agenda, guys. It does. The United Kingdom is ground zero. Right now, we are ground zero. And that brings me into things like crop circles and ley lines and all this esoteric stuff that people kind of, it goes over the top of their heads. And, I guess this is one of the reasons I don't work for government anymore. I would tell them, I would be sat there in like government officers, and you'd have like, you'd have me there. I'd be an advisor. You'd have like a police advisor, a military advisor, an advisor from the emergency services, so police, ambulance, Air Force, police, ambulance, and fire service. And right, okay, guys, there's going to be this planned protest. What's going to happen? I would give them the answer within about 30 seconds, and then want to talk about transdimensional aliens. So, and people don't want that. People want to feel like people want to, especially governments, they want to spend tons of money and get white papers written that take months. Ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, we are in a bit of a pickle right now in the United Kingdom. And listen, if you're somewhere else in the world, don't think you guys are getting off on this. The United Kingdom is ground zero, but this will be rolled out everywhere. So, guys, listen, just a caveat and not to caveat, just to reaffirm what I'm talking about today. Biblical prophecy is being played out in front of us. Now, whether you believe the biblical prophecy is being played out in front of us or not, biblical prophecy is being played out in front of us. I mean the mark of the beast. Nobody can deny, you can't deny, ladies and gentlemen, that the mark of the beast marries up 100% with digital ID. Now, I don't know, maybe somebody's behind the scenes and they're thinking, oh, if we go down this road, people will fall for it. Or if this is real biblical prophecy coming, like actually playing out in front of us. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, right, I'm going to jump onto the comments. I always prioritize TikTok in the mornings. Last night, wasn't the chat wild, guys? Last night, some of you guys after the chat, you laid down. I think you needed a stiff drink. Sammy, good morning. Stuart Smart, Robert, Terry, Vinny the Squirrel. Hello, Vinny the Squirrel. Wisdom, Jog Z, Joanne. So many people joining, guys. Well done, well done. Hello, everybody that's joining. Debbie 1973 saying good morning. So it's Demery Gen X. Hello, everyone. Good morning, Jody Lee. Eric L. Hello, Eric L. And welcome, Eric L. April Lee is saying, oh, good morning, everyone. My last live stream before I'm going to work tomorrow. Yeah, we're all back to work, aren't we? We're all back to work. Roll like the slaves. Debbie Doobs is saying they're pushing digital ID again. Debbie Doobs, digital ID is here, guys. That is phase 2. That is phase 2. Like right now, ladies and gentlemen, like I'm telling you everything that's coming. Everything that's coming right now, I'm telling you, I'm seeing it, and I'm giving you guys prior notice, prior warning. I'll be honest with you. I don't see a way out of this. I don't see a way out of this. I really don't. I don't even see a final alliance of men and elves marching against the the armies of Mordor. I really don't see that at the moment. I don't know what's coming. It will become apparent to me at some point. I'll let you guys know. But right now, guys, I'm not seeing anything good, basically. Sharon Owen is saying good morning. Good morning to you. What about elderly people who aren't tech savvy and don't have a smartphone? Well, Debbie Doobs, there's probably a solution for that, and it sounds like Midazolam or whatever it was. Midazolam. Am I saying that right? Good morning, Tanya and Jean Porthrow. Tanya is saying we aren't going to have a choice. I agree, Tanya. Although there will be a perceived choice, there will be a perceived choice, but you just won't be able to buy anything. You won't be able to sell anything, and you won't be able to get on an airplane. No, I actually said that, guys. That's where we're going right now. I don't see a way out of this. I really don't. Mystery Moon is saying if everyone were to strike in protest against the digital ID, they'd have to, hang on. They'd have to listen. It's the only way. Unfortunately, and I'm being realistic, guys, all right? Unfortunately, Mystery Moon, that's not going to happen. People are lazy. People are selfish. People don't want to. People would. What I've noticed. I don't do this, by the way. I will see things come in, and I feel like I'm gifted in that fashion. I can see things coming down the line, and I think, right, and I'm confident in my predictions. So when I see something coming down the line, I know I'm going to get to that. I know that's coming anyway. So I might as well deal with the problem before it gets to me. That's how I roll. But lots of people aren't like that. Lots of people will be listening to BBC, but lots of people won't be listening to me. And to that end, ladies and gentlemen, can you please do me a real big favor and share my stuff? You know, because we do need to reach a critical mass. And like Mystery Moon saying, if everyone's to stand together, then they have no choice. But the reality is, and I'm being realistic with you guys, you know, that's not going to happen. This is going to move in like the shadows of Mordor. This is going to move in like the shadows of Mordor, guys. It really is. I'm not seeing anything good. Only, I mean, we can all cross our fingers and hope that the aliens get here, guys. You know, I really do. You know, maybe that's the only way out. But even that, guys, I'm certainly not holding my breath for the aliens. Debbie Doogs is saying, are people going to be giving digital ID at birth? Maybe at some point, yeah, but I mean, not now, I don't think. April Lee saying, my face is used for digital ID. Banker, yeah, I mean, it's already here. So, and this is what I'm talking about, guys. The scam has been fantastic. You know, whoever I'm talking about by they, it's certainly not Keir Starmer. Let's get that clear, guys. Right? It's not Keir Starmer. So people are throwing dirt at Keir Starmer. Like, I struggle to see how, like, if it was a problem about if Keir Starmer was talking about how he was brushing his teeth, absolutely fine. I get that. I believe that because he's competent enough to brush his own teeth. What I don't believe Keir Starmer is competent enough to do is hatch this plan over 40, 50 years, and we're all seeing it laid out in front of us. And I don't feel there's any way out of it now, guys. I really don't. I do believe there will be some resistance, but ultimately, I don't know if we're all going to fall into the shadows or not. Debbie Doobs is saying, I know there was talk of logging DNA of newborns. Yeah, so what, they were saying we're going to get all the DNA and everything basically of newborn babies. We're going to then put it into a database to keep people safe. And again, you can't argue with that, guys, because it will keep people safe. You know, any DNA evidence found at the scene of a crime, boom, you've got that person. So I get that, and you can't argue with it. But there's just something fundamental, something elemental, something primal inside of me that says that's bullshit. I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to swear. But you can't. It's literally every day, guys. Absolutely every day these things happen. Phase 2 has been identified. Phase 1 was to cause the carnage. Phase 2 is to present the solution. And it does look like the solution is to implement digital ID. And people will go for it, ladies and gentlemen. People will go for it. And then the next thing from digital ID is the chip in the hand. Because do you know what? Listen, this is how they'll pitch it. Oh, listen, everybody's done so well with the digital IDs. It's great. But do you know what? Phone crime, does that sound familiar, guys? Do you think there's a reason why they've not? Do you think there's a reason? And it sounds paranoid. When I'm saying this, guys, it sounds paranoid, but it's there. You can't not see it. There's masses and masses of phone crime in London. So here's the next thing that's going to happen. Once digital ID's been implemented, and everybody's got that digital ID on their phones, the next thing is going to be, phone crime's up and everybody's stealing our phones in London and they're stealing our IDs. Oh, what can we do? How about we have a chip in our hand? Yeah, just a little chip in your hand. They can't steal that then. And you can just pay. You don't even need your phone. Then you can just use the chip in your hand. That's what's coming, guys. Mark my words. That is coming. Sharon Owen is saying China unveils new weapons. Right, let me get onto this because I said, what did we say yesterday? I said it would be a laser. Let me see. Right, breaking news, guys, from 2 minutes ago. Breaking news from 2 minutes ago. China unveils new weapons. I told you. What did I say, guys? Laser weapons. I told you. I literally told you guys what it was. China unveils new laser weapon. Laser weapon has just been unveiled, which is mounted on the top of 8-wheeled armored truck. The laser, which has to be very powerful, could disable or burn out electronics or even blind. All right, okay, so it's not what I thought it was. It's not what I thought it was. Okay, right. So straight away, guys, on this laser, vehicle mounted lasers, which is what this is, are vulnerable themselves to. It's not the laser. So it's not the laser that's the problem. It's the hydraulics that move that laser, and it's the radar that controls the laser. So that's very vulnerable. So that's all about nothing. Giant underwater drones, ladies and gentlemen. I've said this is coming. Don't worry. The United Kingdom the United States already have them. The United States already have underwater drones. So that is all in line with the US. Remember, you can launch drones from underwater drones, like what we saw off the coast of New Jersey the back end of last year. So that's what that was. So nothing new under the sun. Nuclear missile formations, yeah, they're never going to be used. Aerial formations, yeah, not bothered. Robotic dog drones, yeah, not bothered. Right, nothing there, guys. There's nothing groundbreaking there. Nothing groundbreaking. I mean, no disrespect, but there's nothing groundbreaking. Yeah, so we've got lasers and underwater drones. I don't. There's nothing. There's nothing disruptive about that, guys. Absolutely nothing. Nothing disruptive about that. I'm just looking down now at the kit and equipment. It's underwhelming, guys. Underwhelming. Right, let me get back to the comments, guys. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining for the first time, and you're new to my channel, please hit that follow button, hit that like button, the subscribe. We're triple streaming. We're triple streaming on YouTube. We're streaming on TikTok, and we're streaming on X. What I'm talking about right now is biblical prophecy in the United Kingdom, literal mark of the beast revealed, and I'm talking about digital IDs, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like phase 1 was clear now. I didn't even know it was in phase 1, and but phase 1's been complete. Remember, how I always said, I don't know why these migrants have been brought into the United Kingdom, but it's very, it's easy to understand now that, that in fact, I'm not even saying this. There's lots of evidence out there to suggest that it was the government bringing these migrants in. Now, they were bringing these migrants in to cause a problem. You then have a reaction. And then the solution is obviously the digitalization of identification, where you can't buy or sell anything and you can't travel unless you've got this digital ID. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be honest with you, and I know this is not what people want to hear. I don't see a way out of this. I don't see a way out of this. I mean, there's a way out of migrant hotels coming. That these migrant hotels, we can stop the boats. I can see the way out of that. This digital ID, I don't see the way out of that, because it's been orchestrated so well. I mean, here in the UK, we don't have guns, so we can't oppose the government. Like, even illegally, we can't oppose the government, because, the government have guns. You can't do that. And that's the reality, guys. I will think of the solution, but I just don't. It's just not clear to me right now. Jody Lee is saying, did you see the Donald Trump post about the China victory parade. No, I've not seen that. Sharon Owen is saying, I can remember all the tinfoil hats telling us this was going to happen. Yep, we've been telling people this is going to happen, and now it's here. Like, you can't say it's not here, guys. You can't say that it's not here, because it is, and you can all see it. Dee Marie is saying Estonia trialed the birth ID when a child is born. It's assigned a digital ID already here. Yeah, and this is what happens, you know. All these countries that seem unrelated and not connected, they all trial little bits of it. And, oh, this has been a success there. That's been a success there. That's been a success. And then they just implement them. Because if it was all to be implemented at once, then there'd be the big pushback. But it's not. It's done in a Fabian direction. April Lee saying my bank was cleared. Oh, wow. So April Lee's bank was cleared. Right. I'm sorry to hear that. I know my dad almost got hacked as well. Debbie is saying, I have a passport, but my driving license is still the green paper. I think you want to get that checked, because I know you're like the picture on your drive. And I know people don't check, but the picture on your driving license actually goes out of date. And that means your driving license is out of date. And if you've still got the green paper driving license, then that's like well out of date. Debbie Doobs is saying, I agree with you, Sean. Thank you. Sharon Owen is saying, I still use cash, and the cashiers look at it before like they've never seen a tenner before. Like, ooh, what is this? Some sort of sorcery? Sammy is saying, good morning. Good morning to you, Sammy. Sharon Owen, autumn budget announced for November the 26th. Yeah, it does look like just in time for Christmas, just in time to give everyone that added kick in the sensitive parts before Christmas. April Lee saying that's why Rachel Reeves went to China for money. She would have made a deal with China. Australian people are trying to dissolve their government over immigration. So there are people who are resisting. There is people understand what's coming, but I don't see the direction I don't see the direction where you can stop this. I just can't see the path. I really can't see the path in front of us, guys, where we can stop this. Debbie is saying paper driving license still valid if issued before 1998. Oh, well, that's good for you, Debbie. That's good for you. But, there's a lot of people that had their driving license issues afterwards. And when we're talking about this scam on such a large scale, on such a large timeline, I can't remember who it was in the chat, but somebody said, what about old people that don't have smartphones and are not tech savvy? Well, a lot of those people will be transcending to beams of light. And over a long enough time period, slow enough, you drive this in slowly, it will happen. It's unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen, what's happening. It's there, it's laid out in front of us. There's no way out of it now, I feel. And I don't see anything good that's coming. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're joining, I just want to give you guys a quick synopsis of what we're talking about right now. In the United Kingdom, it does look like the government are implementing digital ID. This is what people have been warning about. The crazy conspiracy theorists who are who people paid lip service to. In fact, actually, just before I get onto that, is it just me, or has anyone else started to notice lots of liberals now waking up and thinking, hang on a minute, no, this is not right. Something's definitely wrong about this. Literally, something is wrong about this. And I'm seeing this, guys. Maybe I'm seeing it and it's not there, but I do think it is there. So people are starting to understand that. I don't know if it's too late in the game, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if it's too late in the game. So what's going to happen next? what is going to happen next? So migration is just going to continue. You know, this mass migration into the United Kingdom is just going to continue. We are going to get to a situation where, I mean, look, the whole. Hang on, let me get this up as a news article so I don't. So the saga with the Bell Hotel in Epping. Right, where are we? Right. So the Bell Hotel in right. This is what I'm getting right now, guys. Okay. So the Bell Hotel in Epping. This was ground zero. This is like the test case for everything. So the council, those protests, and again, look, guys, this was like the test case for everything. And we lost. And we lost. It's gone. It's over. It's finished. It's not coming back. The government power is too powerful. So, and again, did you guys know that the judge in that case is Keir Starmer's mate from the Fabian Society? Like, did you guys know that? Like, did you know that, guys? Like, I don't know if you knew that, but the judge that ruled in the Epping case, did you guys know that he was Keir Starmer's mate from the the Fabian Society? And just if you guys want to know, Fabian was a Roman general or something, and what he used to do is, rather than have a big decisive battle, he would take small battles that were easily winnable. So he would tiptoe into victory. He's kind of not Aragorn riding on his horse, you know, meeting the enemies, you know, meet them head on. He's kind of not Aragorn. He's kind of like I would say a Creamer Wormwood character. But anyway, sorry guys, I'm digressing. I'm going full Lord of the Rings on you guys. So Epping Council, people are protesting. Epping Council said, you know what? Yes, we are gonna apply. We are gonna try and close this hotel down. So they went to a court in the UK and said, look, this hotel was not planned. This hotel was not planned for this use. It needs to be closed down. And the court said, do you know what? Actually, yeah, you're right. And they ruled against it closing. The government resisted, and the government took, the government with our tax money took people to court. Guys, I'm just giving you a quick synopsis of what's happened. The government gave went to court, and the government said, look, the rights of non-UK citizens actually trump the rights of UK citizens. That's what the government said to the judge that was Keir Starmer's friend from the Fabian Society. And the judge actually said, yes, the hotel will not close. So the Epping Council then said, right, okay, we're going to go to the next court now. We're going to appeal your decision. But the government the Epping Council have lost the appeal to overrule that decision. So that hotel's staying open now, guys. Doesn't matter what you taxpayers want. Doesn't matter what you taxpayers want. The armies of Mordor are moving close. In fact, let's just listen to the beginning of this, guys, because this, let me play you this real quick. I think it's like 1.5 minutes. Just listen to the words here and tell me if you think this is relevant.
The world is changed. I feel it in the water. I feel it in the earth. I smell it in the air. Much that once was is lost. For none now live who remember it. It began with the forging of the great rings.
like these great rings, to me, this sounds like some digital platform of like, you know, like Palantir or something, whereby, you know, everybody's using these digital platforms and they're great. They help you govern, you know, this digitalization. It helps you keep track of X, Y, and Z.
3 were given to the elves, immortal, wisest and fairest of all beings. 7 to the dwarf lords, great miners and craftsmen of the mountain halls. And 9 rings were gifted to the race of men, who above all else desire power. For within these rings was bound the strength and will to govern each race.
So that's kind of how they're going to bring in this digitalization and this digital ID. They're going to bring it into local councils and local governments. So they're going to say, look, you know, this digitalization, it gives you all this information and you can plan and you can do things and you don't need as many people and, you know, and it's all great. It's fantastic. But they were deceived.
But they were all of them deceived, for another ring was made. In the land of Mordor, in the fires of Mount Doom, the Dark Lord Sauron forged in secret a master ring to control all others. And into this ring he poured his cruelty, his malice, and his will to dominate all life. One ring to rule them all. One by one, the free lands of Middle-earth fell to the power of the ring. But there were some who resisted. A last alliance of men and elves marched against the armies of Mordor, and on the slopes of Mount Doom, they fought for the freedom of Middle-earth.
So I don't know where that's going to be, guys. You know, I don't know how this is panning out right now, but it does look like this. Hang on. I think I may have been cut off on. I think I've been cut off. Am I still streaming on X, guys? I don't know, guys. Listen, that was weird. That was real weird. I gave you guys Lord of the Rings, and then it just totally went dead. Guys, when did I cut off then? That was weird. Am I back streaming, guys, on TikTok? I don't know if I'm noticing this, guys, but TikTok really does seem to cut me off when I'm getting like when I'm putting things that are really like powerful. I don't know. I don't know what happens, guys, but it seems like on TikTok when I'm talking on TikTok, guys, it really when I get into something that's really again. Let's see if this works. Let's see if this works. Hang on. Let me see if this works. Flowers, butterflies, camels, horses, carrots, beautiful clouds. I support the government. Everything's fine. I want to comply. I will comply. I'm going to comply. I want everybody to be happy. Everything is good. Pay your bills. Obey, consume. Everybody should obey. Everyone should consume. Very strange how I jumped back on when I was saying that. Everybody should obey. Everyone should consume. It's crazy, guys. Absolutely crazy. Linda Lou is saying you do pull some funny faces, Sean, when you freeze. Daniel Payne is saying, do you know that your TikTok's ahead of your YouTube? I think, yeah, I'm running, when I do YouTube, I run it through a third-party software. So I think that's maybe why it's why I'm a little bit ahead on TikTok. Right, ladies and gentlemen, look, guys, I am triple streaming this morning. You can see the signal for some reason. I don't know why. I'm starting to be very suspicious about this, because it's always when I bet it does it now. It's always when I start to mention certain things, it freezes. Now, I don't know if that's me imagining it or if that's real. I mean, you would think that it would just block me or something. But anyway, listen, ladies and gentlemen, we are triple streaming today. So if the feed goes on TikTok, I am streaming on YouTube. I am streaming on X. And of course, we're streaming on TikTok. So please go and show your support there, guys. Hit the buttons up there. If you're watching on YouTube, excuse me. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit the buttons down below, the subscribe button down below, because that really does help me out, guys, okay? And share my stuff. Share my stuff, ladies and gentlemen, okay? That really helps me out if you share my stuff. Candy Rocks is saying it's been doing it for a couple of weeks, but not before you streamed on 3 platforms. So when I'm streaming on YouTube and X, it's a totally different, I've literally got 2 computers set up. So I've got one computer that does TikTok, and then I've got another computer that does YouTube and X. So the systems are totally not connected at all. So I don't know. I don't know what it is, guys. This computer on TikTok has no idea. Well, I don't know. Maybe it does. I mean, we've all got Palantir in our lives now. In fact, guys, just quickly, do you guys know what Palantir is? Like the company Palantir. Do you guys know what it is? So Palantir is software. It was developed. I think it was developed by the Israeli military. And well, you know what? I'll actually get up what Palantir is. So Palantir. Oh, okay, right. Sorry. Okay, so okay. So I'm just going off this off Wikipedia, guys. Okay. So Palantir Technologies Inc. is an American publicly traded company specializing in software platforms for data mining. So what this does basically, it gets information from everywhere and it uses AI to find connections, and it's basically a data management system. Now, Palantir is, I'll tell you what the word Palantir means in a minute. Now, Palantir runs the NHS, it runs a lot of the government systems. Now, one of the guys who founded this, Peter Thiel, I mean, look into him, guys. Like, you know, he also funded Elon Musk. He's one of Elon Musk's friends. He funded Donald Trump. He's a massive funder, and he puts money, you know, and he's one of these philanthropists. You've got to look where they got that money from, guys. Okay. Now, Palantir would be one of the companies. I believe Palantir would be one of the companies that would implement this digital ID. And once that digital ID is implemented and you hand it over to Palantir to manage the data, literally, guys, you can't do anything then. You are literally a slave. Now, the word Palantir is from Lord of the Rings. It's from Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. It is, guys. I'm not making this up. And the Palantir is the orb, is like the glass ball that the bad guys have, that the Dark Lord has, and that glass ball gives him information on what's happening in the rest of Middle Earth. So, like, I don't know, guys. Like, you know, yesterday I was talking about karmatic retribution, whereby, if I'm a doctor, and I tell you that this injection is going to save your life, and actually this injection does the totally opposite, that's on me. That karma comes back on me. If I'm a doctor and I tell you that this injection is not going to save your life, it's going to do the total opposite, and you still have this injection, then that's on you. Now, all this information is out there, guys. Literally, all the information is out there, So Palantir, the company, is a digital mining software. data mining software, sorry. Then they will get all the information. You know, they will get all that information. They'll put that together. They'll use AI. They'll use little snippets, where you've been, what you're most likely to do, what your search history is like on Google. And there will be nothing that you can't do, guys. Literally, we will literally be slaves to artificial intelligence. And I know that sounds weird. I know it sounds weird, guys, right now. But how weird did it sound that the government were going to force a digital? How weird did it sound? How weird did it sound when people like 2-3 years ago, when people were saying they're going to flood the shores of the United Kingdom to force in a digital ID? Like, how weird did that sound? Like, how weird did that sound, guys? I would say it sounded quite weird a long time ago. But right now, the shores of the United Kingdom have been flooded. And the government looks like they're bringing in a digital ID. So, everything sounds weird, and everything sounds weird until it's there. It's unbelievable, guys. And look, if you want to follow this back, the real war right now, it's not migrants versus British people. It's not these people versus these people. It's literally, and this is what everybody needs to understand right now, it's good versus evil. It is, ladies and gentlemen. That is the reality of the situation we're facing right now. And I know that sounds out there for people. I know it does. But we are really in a good versus evil scenario, guys. It's crazy. D-Marie Janet. Sorry, guys. I've missed some comments. Right, I'm going to get these comments on TikTok, and then I'm going to jump over to the YouTube comments, guys, because I can see the comments are going crackers on YouTube. Right, so we've done that. Candy Rocks is saying, oh, we did that. Good morning, Laurie C. Laurie C says, good morning, I'm late. Priv Caro says, no, I've noticed that on other lives, mostly on different preppers' lives. TikTok censors you, I think. I think it does. I think it does, guys. When I start talking about something powerful, I don't know. It just the thing always goes. Like, it cuts me off and I can't get a signal. I am starting to become very suspicious of it now. It's happened a few times. Well, it's happened quite a lot, actually. Candy Rocks says, I'm suspicious of everything technological now. I am as well. Nothing seems to be like, and remember when Boris Johnson gave his speech on AI? Boris Johnson gave his speech on artificial toasters. And then, like, a couple of months, a warning of artificial toasters. And then a couple of months later, he got the sack. He was ousted from the government. Does that not sound suspicious to anyone? Like, really? Right. So we just talked about D-Marie Gen X is saying, when you think it's sketchy on TikTok, say you can buy things from the TikTok shop, it confuses the algorithm and boosts you. Yeah. Do you know what? I might do that, actually. When the signal starts to go on TikTok, I might just start talking about my TikTok shop and how great it is. Which it is, guys, to be fair. Like, so, and I'm not just saying this, guys, but to be fair, like, some of the stuff you get on TikTok shop is like ridiculously cheap. And like, you can't, like, I just don't know how they can sell stuff that cheap on that TikTok shop. D-Marie Gen X is saying, is that owned by Peter Thiel? Yes. Data mining, like crypto mining? No. No. So crypto mining, no, actually, it's totally different. So data mining is, right, I need to find this lady called D-Marie Gen X. I need to find out where she's been, how much she earns, where she spends her money, who she follows on YouTube, who she follows on X, where she lives, what she posts, and use AI to give people use AI to tell people or to tell other AI systems everything about you, That's what he does, guys, you know. And people think that I was a little bit guilty of it this morning, guys. I posted quite a bit on X this morning. But people think that, and look, guys, I'm out there, I'm compromised anyway. But people think these posts on X are safe. They're not, guys. They're just being mined. CC Outdoors Education is saying, who remembers a movie called Logan's Run? They live in dome cities. Yeah, so is Logan's Run the one where you have like the emerald in your hand? Is that Logan's Run? And when I think everybody reaches, is it when people reach like 30 or something, they have to go and transcend themselves to a beam of light or something? Luxford saying, I agree 100%. And Candy Rocks is saying it's listening always like the great eye, like the great eye of Mordor. That's an interesting one, actually. Linda Lou is saying there won't be any live streaming on the 13th with all these new regulations on platforms. I still think Rumble's relatively free, I guess. Debbie Doobs is saying Temu is cheaper. Right, I don't have Temu. Demeregan X is saying, do you not think as well, digital ID, it will bring about a new age and style of hackers? Yeah, I mean, you can literally lose. I think that happened to April Lee. You can literally lose. You'd be able to lose your ID, your identity. It'd be very easy to turn someone off, just to turn someone off. Like, for example, we've seen this in lots of movies, haven't we? So you bring in digital ID, right? You bring in digital ID. So nobody has paper ID anymore, and then you just delete that person. That person doesn't exist, you know. Right, Raven, delete, Control Alt Delete. All my information's gone. Did you have it backed up? Did you have a hard copy? Well, no, I don't. I've never had a hard copy. Well, I'm sorry, we can't find you on the system. You're not real. You're going to have to contact your government. What about maybe it was that thought I had a couple of weeks ago. April Lee is saying ChatGPT does that as well. Yeah, it all gathering information on us, guys. All gathering information on us. Sharon Ono is saying we are going to be living like 1984, George Orwell's 1984. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, let me give you guys a crux of this live stream again, because I am going to start to close this down now, and then I'll be over on YouTube and X. We will continue the live stream over. Isn't it funny? We never get any trolls in the morning, do we, guys? Well, not trolls. You know, we never get any diverse opinions in the morning. Do you know why? Do you guys know why we never get any like swizzlers in the mornings? Like, do you know why? Because it's all these liberals and they're all unemployed and they're all laid in bed still. You know, they don't get up, you know, and they get up about, they get up about 2. Candy Rocks is saying scary stuff for the future. Right, so that's sorry, guys. So that's what we're talking about. Literal biblical prophecy right now laid out in front of us, ladies and gentlemen, in the United Kingdom. It does look like the United Kingdom is ground zero for whatever's coming next. The shores of the United Kingdom have been absolutely flooded with migrants. People are in chaos. This chaos is going to lead to an implementation of digital ID. And that, it seems, well, do you know what, guys? Not that it seems. People have been warning about this coming for a long time. And I get it. You know, I get it, guys. I do. I get it. People are going to be there, and people are going to be thinking, I'm not going to have this. I'm not going to do this. I'll never do this. The vast majority of people will. They will. The vast majority of people will do the digital ID. Put yourself in this situation, guys. And this is the situation a lot of people are going to find themselves in, okay? A lot of people are going to find themselves in that situation where, well, actually, let's take a step back. The government, since they've been in power, have made it very difficult for small businesses to operate. And if I go, listen, guys, if I go dark, if I stop streaming after this, I'm just going to close it down because I know I'm being watched, right? So if the live stream freezes, I'm just going to close it down and go on to YouTube. So if the government right now in the United Kingdom have made it difficult for people to employ people, if the government have made it difficult to for small businesses to operate, if the government have made it difficult with taxes for the businesses to operate, I don't know, guys. You tell me if you think that's happened. Then that's going to force more people into unemployment because those companies, those small businesses are closing. So what you've got now is you've got more people applying for less jobs, which is going to force more people onto the welfare system. And I've said all along, guys, this is what's coming. They want more people on the welfare system. Now, once you're on that welfare system, I don't know, guys, tell me, what do you think? Do you think the welfare system will be linked to the digital ID? I would say it is. And it'll happen quickly. It'll happen quickly. So you're there, you know, you're a single parent now. You've just been laid off your job through no fault of your own, absolutely no fault of your own, no fault of your bosses either, no fault of your bosses, you know, the government taxing. We're going to tax them billionaires, us. Yeah, no, we're going to tax. Why don't everyone just get a free house? All I've done is sign 4 bits of paper. Everyone can sign 4 bits of paper. It's proper ain't good. Look at my shoes. No, everybody thinks that I heels, but they're not. The flats. The flats with a 4-inch sole makes me look right powerful, like some sort of comedical clown. Any assumptions you made there, guys, that's on you. So that's what's happening right now. More people searching for less jobs, forcing people onto the welfare system. That welfare system is then going to be linked to digital ID. And they're going to say, right, if you want to get on the welfare system, which a lot of people will have to, you know, you're going to have to identify, you know, register with this digital ID. When you sat there and you're looking at your kids and your kids are hungry, you know, and they've not got the best, and you know, and you know, they've not got, you know, you're struggling to get school uniform, you're struggling to put the heating on, and all you need to do is sign up on that app. What are people going to do? You know, what are people going to do? And slowly over time, I don't see a way out of this now, guys. I don't see a way out of this. I'm not saying there's not a way out of this. What I'm saying is, it's not clear to me right now. It's not clear to me. A vote for reform is not going to help. You know, I think Donald Trump and Elon Musk are in on the gig. You know, and it's like, you know, sometimes you have to ally with your enemies to fight the threat, the immediate threat. But you've got to understand, you know, we're the bigger thing that's being. And I do listen, guys, real quick about Elon Musk. Like I don't know him, I've never met him, you know, on a personal level, I do think he's a good guy. On a personal level, I think he's a good guy. And I've always said this. I think he understands the game he's in. And what I think he's talking about is so what I mean is, what I think he's thinking about is, if he's in that position, he can implement net good, slow things down, potentially minimize the harm. But if he's not in that position, he can't do any of that. So I kind of get that. That's what my intuition's saying about Elon, guys. That's what my intuition is. I've given you guys all the angles. You know, I've given you guys all the information. That's my angle on Elon. And let's not pretend for 1 minute. Let's not pretend for 1 minute that he runs Twitter X, because he doesn't. It's there. I think there's there's a load of investors, a load of silent investors that backed Elon to buy X. Elon's just he's the face. He's like the he's like the lead singer, I guess, you know, the front man. Sorry, that's what the phrase I was looking for. So you've got to understand, you know, it doesn't matter it doesn't matter what it says on the tin, it's the contents that matter. So if we're pushing for chaos in the United Kingdom, if people are angry about migration, and look, guys, I'm not angry about migration. I'm angry about the destruction of our culture. I'm angry about absolute, I'm angry about the absolute destruction of British culture, and I'm angry about the evil that's come to our shores. Now, what do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? These people that, like, if the people that were coming to the United Kingdom were good, I don't think anybody would have any problem, you know, but it's kind of like an orc army being forced upon you, and people are saying, all orcs have rights. You know, if you do certain things to 12, 13-year-old girls, there's only one word for that, and that's evil. And that's what we're in a battle against, guys, all right? And I don't want to get, you know, I don't want to get too deep into it and start like preaching. You know, I want to give you guys facts and figures and realistic ways out of this. But ultimately, guys, you know, if you follow this back far enough, you know, we're in like a, you know, this is like a spiritual conflict between good and evil. And there's no other way around that, guys. There's no way to reframe that. And then everything else descends down from that. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, it's not looking good because I genuinely don't see. Candy Rocks love the Lord of the Rings references. Yeah, I do apologize, guys. Look, guys, I don't know if anybody's watched the director's cuts of Lord of the Rings, but it's absolutely awesome. Like 12 hours. The three movies are like 4 hours each, and in total, it's 12 hours, 27 minutes. I'll do that in one sitting, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. I will do that in one sitting. So you've got to be suspicious of everything. You've got to understand there's a bigger plan. You know, you've got to understand we're under masses of subversion. But we need to protect our kids. We need to protect ourselves first. And I do think there's going to be like a, you know, there's going to be a final alliance of elves and men and elves, I guess. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to close this down now on TikTok. I'm going to jump over to YouTube. I'll be continuing on YouTube for a little bit, and then I will close that down. The crux of this live stream. Sharon Owen is saying, but Sean, have you got the extended version? Yes, of course I've got the extended version, Sharon. I don't watch the cinematic ones. I watch the full 12 hours, 27 minutes of Lord of the Rings. And guys, I could probably restart it again at the end of it. Anyway, guys, I'm going to close over. I'm going to jump over to YouTube. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, biblical prophecy is being played out right in front of us now. And I'm not saying that we're going to see a second coming. I actually think that we need to stop thinking that, because if we think that there's going to be a savior coming, we won't save ourselves. And I think ultimately that people need to see what's coming, and people need to stop this madness that's happening. You know, there are good people out there. You know, there are good people out there. And it reminds me of that crop circle. Whoa, stop. Right at the beginning of this live stream, I said something. Give me a second. Guys. Stop. Give me a second, guys. Right. Okay. So right at the beginning of this live stream, guys, and this has only just come together. Right at the beginning of this live stream, okay, I said, I don't know why I said it right at the beginning of this live stream. I don't know why I said it. But I said the United Kingdom looks like it is ground zero for this. Whatever's happening, it looks like the United Kingdom's ground zero. Mark of the beast, digital ID, biblical prophecy coming true. And I said, I think this has got something to do with crop circles. Yeah. I did. I said that. I know I said that. And I know all my live streams are being recorded, and you can go back on YouTube and you can watch the beginning of this live stream. There was a crop circle in the United Kingdom some time ago, and the message on the crop circle was as such: beware the bearers of false gifts and their broken promises. Much pain, but still time. There is good out there. We oppose deceivers. Conduit closing. Now, doesn't that sound like what's happening right now? Maybe that was a message from an alternate dimension. I don't know. We will get into all that later on, guys, as we jump over to YouTube. But anyway, guys, I am going to jump over to YouTube now. If you've not done so and you're on TikTok, hit those like buttons, the follow, the subscribe, whatever buttons you can do to help me out, guys. It really helps me out when you guys hit those buttons. I'm going to close this down now on TikTok, and I will be over on YouTube. I'll be back on at 8. So that was a little bit peculiar, guys. That was a little bit peculiar. Right, I'm just going to start at the bottom, guys. I'm going to read the comments from YouTube from the bottom. So I think I'll be getting these like slightly off topic because some people comment in 2 things and then they don't marry up. Right. Sharon Owen is saying, hey to you, Sharon Owen. MacTube is saying peace deal sounds good. I don't want a peace deal right now, guys. I don't want a peace deal with anyone. A peace deal would mean a compromise. Right now, we don't need compromise. We need a win. Kevin James is saying Jesus is the only way from Australia. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I mean, are we being suckered into believing that there's going to be a second coming and people should have faith and wait for the Holy One to arrive, and it's just not going to happen as we slide into darkness? David Sanchez is saying the mark of the beast is Obamacare chip, which is still law. So, David Sanchez, are you saying that Obamacare, you actually get a chip in your hand? Is that like a thing in America? I didn't know that. Anna K is saying, I was about to say that, Slim. Hang on, let me jump up. Remember the Daigle report. The stage is being set. Mr. X, just explain to me again the Daigle report as if I didn't know what it was. If you like, in a few sentences, if you may. I could Google it, yes, but I think I'm going to go through these comments. So if you could do that. Endeavour to Preserve is saying open carry USA. Unfortunately, Endeavour to Preserve, here in the United Kingdom, we don't have guns. So that's not an option. And there are not enough guns in the UK, even if people went crazy. We don't have enough guns in the United Kingdom to oppose the government. We really don't. So I don't know where it's going. It does look like this dastardly plan has been perfectly, absolutely perfectly hatched to be implemented in the United Kingdom. Anna K is saying the states got this and worse, going from what I'm saying, the whole realm being forced down this road to destruction. It does feel like that, doesn't it, guys? It really does feel like that. Endeavour to Preserve saying, dude, your only hope for freedom to move to the United States of America. Well, that will be freedom for me. Now, let me pin this. That would be freedom for me, but there's a lot of people, like most people in the UK can't get out. I don't know. Maybe America's going to be like, the final resistance of elves and men, and then they're gonna set their armies on the rest of the world and give them freedom. Kevin James is saying we are in the end, not the tribulation, but the end. Mr. X is saying mass global depopulation military prediction for 2025. Oh, here we are. Purple Passion 777 is saying the Earth is multidimensional. Right, guys, do you want me to go down this? Do you want me to go down here early in the morning, guys? Am I going to go down here? Am I going to go down this? Right, Purple Passion, are you going to be back on later at 8? Purple Passion, are you going to be back on at 8? I was watching a video yesterday, and I don't know if you've remember, like a long time ago, I did a video on how I was just thinking, right? What if time is not linear? And I know this is wild, guys, right? But what if time isn't straightforwards? What if it's meshed in multiple dimensions and it's all happening all at once? Just go with that. Go with that. Just try and accept that we are in like just try and visualize a 3D box. Well, all boxes are 3Ds, I guess. We're inside a cube, and time is an infinite amount of lines running in an infinite amount of different locations, and that is the universe. Just pretend for a second. Just pretend, if you can, and you're in the middle of that box. I was watching a video, and it was this NASA engineer. And what they said is they did experiments where people can these random number generators, basically. I think it's ones and zeros. And if you think about numbers, people can influence the random number generator. Just go with it, guys. Just go with it, right? So you sat there. You can look at this yourself. The information's out there. It's readily available for everyone. You just need to search for it. You can sit in this box. You can sit and you can think, right, we want, I don't know, a number 6 or something, or random number generators. If you can get enough people, you can affect those numbers. So what this NASA woman was saying is they took it one step further. So first of all, that is wild. That's wild. And then you look at the double split air experiment. So then you take it a step. What she said is we took it a step further. We got people to try and influence a number generator that had not started yet. So they were trying to influence the number generator. So they were trying to influence the number generator at 8 o'clock in the morning, and the number generator wasn't going to be turned on until 8 o'clock at night. And guess what? It worked. They then did it the other way. They then got they set the number generator off. This is wild, guys. This is wild. So they set the number generator off at 8 o'clock in the morning, and they got the people to try and influence the number generator in the afternoon. And guess what? They influenced it. So thoughts can transcend time. Just there we go, guys. So when we're talking about the Earth being multi-dimensional, you know. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's a conversation. I think that's a conversation for later on this evening, guys. I do. I think that's a conversation for later on this evening. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, listen, guys. I am going to start closing this down now as well, because I've got a lot to do today. Biblical prophecy. You can't not see it now in the United Kingdom. We can see biblical prophecy, mark of the beast, actually being implemented on people. You can say problem, reaction, solution. You can say all this stuff. It's just crazy stuff that's happening. Absolutely crazy stuff that's happening in the United Kingdom. Things are getting worse every day. Digital IDs coming. We're all going to be slaves at some point. I do not see a way out of this right now, ladies and gentlemen. I don't see a way out of it. I'm not saying there isn't a way out of this, but I've got to be realistic. We've got to be realistic what we can achieve. Like, most people won't even have any idea this is coming. I mean, listen, guys, I was just explaining to you guys scientific experiments that prove that time's not real. Most commentators and most strategic analysts won't even consider that. But when I give you, and guys, look, I consider a lot more stuff. But when I give you guys an analysis, it's because I play all this stuff through in my head. Everything, all these different aspects. And that's why I get things that are really, really well on the money, and the direction of travel is always correct. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, listen, guys, I am going to close this down now. I will be back on at 8 o'clock tonight. We will then be having the YouTube exclusive at around about 9 o'clock when I close TikTok down. So make sure you're there, guys. And let's go interdimensional tonight, guys. Throw some questions about interdimensional aliens and all that stuff, because I want to go down that path, guys. I do, because crazy stuff's coming, and more people need to open their minds to different possibilities of reality, because people don't really think about differences of reality. Like, let's just consider this, guys, all right? We live on this planet called the Earth. Sharks do not know that lions exist. Neither do lions know that sharks exist. You go and try and explain to a lion what a shark is. Not a chance. Go and explain to a shark what a lion is. They don't know what each other is. They live on the same realm. They live in the same reality. They live in the same dimension, but they can't see each other. So is it possible we're living in a similar dimension where we just can't see other things? I would say there's a lot of evidence towards that. But that's a conversation for later on tonight, guys. That is a conversation for later on tonight. I am going to close this down now. I'll be back on at 8, and I hope you guys are as well. Don't forget to like and follow, subscribe down below, guys, if you've not done so already. Share my stuff on your socials. That really helps me out as well. And I'll see you guys at 8.